In this video, I want to go over perfect squared trinomials. And it's a specific pattern. It's a pattern that'll come up a lot when we talk about quadratics, because we're going to use it in the completing the square method to solve harder quadratic equations or quadratic functions. So there's two little formulas that you should memorize, or two little patterns that you should memorize. And that's if I have something like a plus b squared, I can rewrite that as, or I could factor that, or sorry, multiply it out as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And I have the subtraction version of that. If there's a subtraction symbol, the only thing that changes is this first addition symbol becomes a subtraction symbol. And you can test these out. You know, you can plug in numbers for a and b and see that this pattern holds true. I mean, you could even FOIL this out, a plus b squared, and see that it turns into this. Okay? So I'll give you a couple of examples. The first example is the simplest possible example, and probably the most common one that you'll see. And that is where the leading coefficient is 1. So the leading coefficient is 1, and that makes this extremely easy to see. And these are the types that we're going to be using when we're talking about completing the square. And then, you know, really, quadratic formula is a very generalized version of completing the square. So it really all comes down to these perfect square trinomials here. Okay. So if you happen to see something like this, where you see the number 49 at the end as the C value, and the B value is 14. So I'm looking at this and I say, okay, that's 7 squared, and that's 2 times 7. If you see this pattern, you have to, you know, be confident, but this is a perfect square trinomial, okay? When the leading coefficient is 1, this is what's going to happen. So I can factor this into x plus 7 squared. Okay, if I wanted to just test that out, I could do it really quick. FOIL it. X squared. Outside is 7x. Inside is 7x. Last is plus 49. So this simplifies to that perfect square trinomial pattern that we had in the beginning. Okay? So just be aware, if you see stuff like, you know, x squared plus, let's do 6x plus 9, okay? That's going to be equal to x plus 3 squared, because 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 squared is 9, okay? Anything like this, 12x plus, or x squared plus 12x plus 36, that is going to be x plus 6 squared, because 2 times 6 is 12. 6 squared is 36. Okay, so this is the pattern that we're going to use for completing the square, and it's a very, very pretty useful pattern. Okay, next example is not as easy to see. Okay, and we wouldn't be using this type of thing for a completing the square problem, but it's useful anyway if you happen to see the pattern. Okay, so I'm seeing that I have a 4, well, that's a perfect square, and I have a 49, that's also a perfect square. So maybe, just maybe, this is 2x minus, right, 7 squared. I don't know, you know, I have to just look at this really quick to see. So what do I have to do? I have to do, to find this middle term, it's a 2ab. Okay, so 2 times a, which is 2, 4, and 4 times 7 is a negative 28. So that works out. This is a perfect square, and 2x minus 7 squared is the result. Thank you.